New rides, new roller coasters, new attractions. At this time of year, it's always exciting to think about what we'll be able to experience at our favorite theme parks within the coming months. But what's even more exciting, however, is thinking about the brand new theme parks that will be opening their gates for the very first time. New theme parks come with a heightened sense of curiosity and intrigue, because not only do they bring a fresh collection of rides and attractions, but they represent entirely new worlds that we get to explore. Good day everyone, my name is Parker, and in this episode of Theme Park Parlay, we're going to count down the top 12 brand new theme parks that will be opening in 2025. Whether you fancy posh pigs, Filipino folktales, Hollywood's most beloved and beguiled characters, or record-breaking throw machines that push the boundaries of engineering, each of these parks offers something fun and exciting for everyone. I plan to dive deep into all of these parks, so without any further ado, let's talk theme parks. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome! Adventures with Parker is your home for theme park, travel, local, and outdoor adventures, including adventure vlogs and episodes of Theme Park Parlay, like the one you're watching right now. If that kind of stuff sounds fun to you, then you should absolutely become a subscriber and hit that notification icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alright, let's begin our list with India's newest theme park, Wonderla, Chennai. Wonderla Parks & Resorts is India's largest amusement park chain. They've opened 4 properties so far, including one that opened last year in Bhubaneswar, and they're only just getting started. Wonderla is in the midst of a huge expansion plan that will see a Wonderla park in 10 major cities across India, and Chennai, the capital of India's southernmost province of Tamil Nadu, is where they plan to bring the Wonderla magic next. Now, we don't actually know a lot about what kind of rides this 55-acre park will have yet, but according to RCDB, they'll be getting a B&M invert. This will be a relocation of Lightning from the now defunct Kuwait Entertainment City. It's just a standard Batman the Ride clone, but I mean, those rides are always fun, and it'll open as India's largest roller coaster. And that's all we can really say with any amount of certainty. However, looking at rides that are common across the other Wonderla parks, it's very likely that they'll also get a copy of the Termite Coaster and Termite Train, a duo of enclosed wacky worms and powered coasters with a fun insect theme, as well as the Wonder Splash water coaster. But of course, that's just speculation on my part. The Wonderla parks also have a fun collection of flat rides and water slides, so I imagine Wonderla Chennai will be no different. Coming in at number 11 is 7 Yanbu, the first of 6 entertainment centers being constructed by Saudi Entertainment Ventures. The Yanbu location will be located along the seafront promenade of Al Nawaras Island and will contain 6 different zones: a family entertainment center, which will feature rides, arcades, and VR experiences with a focus on action and adventure; a junior FEC designed for kids aged 3 to 9, featuring soft play, interactive games, and educational video games with the focus on developing skills and creativity; Neoscape Bowling, which will be a futuristic neon 10-lane bowling experience; a clip and climb course with 30 different climbing challenges, a 12-hole indoor adventure golf course, and a 10-screen AMC cinema. Although I don't normally include family entertainment centers on this list, 7 Yanbu gets a pass, since it'll be home to the world's first SNX Access Coaster, Transformers. For those of you who haven't heard of the Access Coaster, these rides are defined as having freely rotating cars that allow the coaster to switch between the standard and inverted track configurations. At 283 meters long and 14 meters high, Transformers isn't going to be a large coaster by any means, but it will feature a 56 km/h launch, and you'll be able to experience the layout twice. And yes, that's Transformers as in Optimus Prime and the other Autobots and Decepticons, so this coaster will be accompanied by some cool theming elements as well. The Family Entertainment Center will also feature some flat rides from Zamperla, an SBF Visa Big Air Coaster, a hyper-realistic dark ride from Triotech, and a Transformers-themed bumper cars attraction that will focus on an interactive Energon link that will connect Autobot and Decepticon vehicles. The future 7 locations will be pretty similar to what we see in Yanbu, but each one promises to be a little different. offering slight variations to the attractions, including reimagined layouts for the Transformers coaster. Of course, I'm getting ahead of myself here, so we'll have to wait for the 2026 video to see what they'll do next. At number 10, we have the world's third theme park dedicated to everyone's favorite British pig, Peppa Pig Theme Park in North Richland Hills, Texas. With the exception of Paulton's Park in the UK, who opened their own Peppa Pig World in 2011, the theme park licensing for Peppa Pig is held by Merlin Entertainments. Their first foray into bringing Peppa Pig to the parks began with the Peppa Pig Land Kids area that opened in 2018 at Gardaland and Hyde Park. They then built the first full-scale Peppa Pig theme park as a separate gate to their Legoland Florida resort in 2022, followed by a version at the Legoland Deutschland resort in 2024. And now, we come to the Dallas-Fort Worth location, which will be the first independent Peppa Pig theme park that will not be attached to any other existing resort. The offerings will be quite similar to the other two Peppa Pig theme park locations, including the iconic Daddy Pig's roller coaster, a Zamperla family coaster featuring both a lift hill and a booster wheel launch that will zip by Peppa Pig's house. Other rides include Grampy Rabbit's Dinosaur Adventure, Peppa Pig's Balloon Ride, Mr. Bull's High Striker, and Granddad Dog's Pirate Boat Ride. This park will also feature a number of playgrounds and interactive play attractions like Peppa Pig's Treehouse, Pirate Island Sand Play, Funfair Games, which will all be free with admission, Peppa Pig's Pedal Bike Tour, Grandpa Pig's Greenhouse, Rebecca Rabbit's Playground, and of course, the fan favorite Muddy Puddles Splash Pad. Other amenities will include the cinema, showing a continuous run of Peppa Pig episodes, a show space where guests will be able to interact with characters from the show, Mr. Fox's shop, and Miss Rabbit's diner. I actually really appreciate how this park will prioritize discovery and skill development through play, giving kids a variety of ways to interact and have fun. This comes as no surprise though, since just like the other locations, the Dallas-Fort Worth Peppa Pig Park will be a certified autism park. The opening day for this oinktastic park is currently scheduled for March 1st. From here, let's head north to Osage Beach, Missouri for number 9, Oasis at Lakeport. This $350 million project was created by Skyview Partners and Tejet Hoff Development, and is expected to open this May. The 25-acre theme park will feature a total of 11 rides, and the marquee coaster of the park will be a Vekoma family boomerang called Shootout. This ride will be 205 meters long, 75.5 feet tall, and reach a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. The other coaster is a yet-to-be-named Vekoma family coaster, which will feature the same layout as Dragonflyer at Dollywood. The park will also have a 100-foot Moser Rides drop tower called The Plunge, and a 200-foot tall Ferris wheel, which will be illuminated with 1,000,001 light bulbs. That's one more light bulb than the Ferris wheel in Branson, cause they do be petty like that in Osage Beach. Now, the theme park is only the first phase of the Oasis at Lakeport project, because they also plan on building a 402-room Marriott Hotel and Conference Center, an indoor water park with a retractable roof, an amphitheater, and 200 new public boat slips, all of which is expected to be completed by 2026. Number 8 is a massive project in China, and Chimelong's third theme park resort, Chimelong Qingwen International Forest Resort. As the name suggests, the theme of this resort primarily revolves around animals, and the main theme park will contain a mix of traditional amusement rides, animal exhibits, and cultural performances. This park, called Chimelong Forest Kingdom, will open with over 30 attractions and experiences. One of the big draws of the park will be a steam train through Greater Africa, a 35-minute experience where guests can see a variety of iconic African animals aboard a miniature steam train. At Lion King Mountain, guests can board an observation wheel for a view of the park from above. Giraffe Savannah will feature a giraffe-themed flying wheel from Metal Bow Emmeline, where guests can get a giraffe's eye view of the savannah. The Great Central Lawn will feature a show called Story Forest, along with exhibits featuring flamingos, kangaroos, and tortoises. Akuma Valley will feature peacocks, brown bears, and a climbing structure, as well as the British Bear Valley Theatre. In Ape Forest Monkey Island, guests will find exhibits with orangutans, great apes, spider monkeys, and ring-tailed lemurs. The Big World of Bugs will be a beautiful garden area, featuring rides like the Trojan Horse, the Insect World Express, the Wild Bee Flying Chair, the Insect Hunter Water Fight, the Summer Turning Cup, the Ladybug Plane, the Snail Bumper Car, and a mock family coaster called the Flower Coaster. The largest theater in the park, the Twin Treasure Theater, will host puppet shows and animal interactions. Finally, the Parrots Rainforest will feature exhibits like macaws, sun parrots, toucans, black and white colobus monkeys, sloths, and giant anteaters. But the theme park isn't all that the Chimelong Kingwan International Forest Resort will have to offer. The first phase will also include China's largest drive-through safari and a hot springs park that will give guests even more opportunities to interact with different animals. The resort will also open with the iconically themed Chimelong Giraffe Castle Hotel, based on characters from Chimelong's original cartoon, Kaka Tiger Adventure. The hotel will have 1,258 themed rooms, 5 themed restaurants, and a business center. The park already opened for a preview day on January 25th and is expected to have its official grand opening soon. Also, huge shout out to my friend HC for helping me to get some information about this park. Everyone go do him a huge favor and go follow his Insta at HK_RC Thrills. Next up at number 7 is a contender for the Philippines' new number 1 park, Pradera Islands Park. This theme park, built in the tourist hotspot of Lubao in the province of Pampanga, was created by businessman Bong Pineda. It's being developed by a Spanish design company called Immersive Planet, with many elements built by the theming, animatronic, and lighting experts at Themix Philippines Incorporated. But what exactly is this park all about? Well, it seems that a lot of the rides at this park are rooted in Filipino folktales, and storytelling and immersion are at the forefront of the park's design. We don't know the details for all of the attractions that guests will be able to experience here, but what we do know is absolutely fascinating. The park's flagship attraction is The Secret of Arayat, a dark ride located in the volcano at the center of the park. This story will revolve around the park's mascots in an immersive retelling of the Philippine tales of Mount Arayat and the Golden Palace of Sichuan, in which visitors will undergo an ambitious journey in search of gemstones hidden in the volcanic landscape. The story will be brought to life with physical sets and animatronics, fog walls, lava effects, changes in temperature, and immersive CGI graphics by Italian media company Red Rayon. This will be one of several rides at the park supplied by Legotronics, a ride manufacturer that specializes in interactive attractions. Another notable ride at the park is a VR coaster called Attack of Aswang. Once guests put on their VR helmets, they'll find themselves in the Aswayan, a flying dragon made of wood and bamboo. Throughout their journey, guests will experience unexpected twists and turns as they fly at high speeds through a traditional Filipino village, a jungle, and a volcano. The coaster itself is being built by Italian manufacturer Preston and Barbieri, but other aspects of the ride are being supplied by Mock Rides, Onion Lab, and Legotronics. Legotronics will also be working with Sunkid to provide 2 interactive climbing towers that will be outfitted with magic wands that you'll be able to use to hit as many targets as possible that are hidden in the trees and surrounding decor. The park will also feature a Zamperla convoy equipped with an interactive camera system from, you guessed it, Legotronics, where guests will have to keep an eye out for creatures along their journey and photograph as many as possible. Other rides at the park include a haunted house, a Ferris wheel, a rock and tug, a drop tower, a pirate's boat ride, a wave swinger, a Zamperla air race, a log flume, and a boat ride. At number 6, we have the bricktastic new addition of Legoland Sichuan. Located just 60 kilometers south of Chengdu, Legoland Sichuan is one of several new Legoland parks that Merlin Entertainment is building in China over the next few years. Covering an area of 57 hectares, this resort will include a theme park, a water park, and 2 fully themed 500-room Lego hotels. The project is being funded by the global Zhongzheng Cultural Tourism Development Co., and Merlin is acting as a partner in the development and will be the ones operating the park under a management contract arrangement. Like all of the new Chinese Legoland parks, Legoland Sichuan will be quite a bit bigger than its predecessors and will feature a new design and a layout with 9 themed areas: the castle, the factory, Bricktopia, Pirate Shores, Dinoland, Miniland, Lego Friends, Lego City, and Ninjago. The most prominent change that this park will bring to the classic Legoland design is that its version of Miniland will be entirely indoors, located in a building at the heart of the park with other hands-on building experiences. Did I mention that this building will also be surrounded by a roller coaster? Speaking of coasters, Legoland Sichuan is expected to have many of the same rides and attractions that guests know and love from the existing Legoland parks, but it'll also come with some exciting new experiences that are more reflective of Chinese culture. We don't have a lot of information regarding the specifics, but RCDB lists 4 roller coasters: a family launch coaster, a Zyrer family coaster, which will probably be a clone of Dragon, a Zamperla family coaster, which again will probably be a version of the Dragon's Apprentice, and a B&M family invert, which I believe will be the coaster that encircles the Miniland building that I mentioned earlier. In total, China will eventually be home to 4 Legoland parks. I think I talked about Legoland Shenzhen last year, but that project actually got pushed back to 2026. We're still waiting on an opening date for Legoland Beijing, and the last one will actually be opening in 2025 along with Legoland Sichuan. Which brings us to number 5, Legoland Shanghai. Like Legoland Sichuan, Legoland Shanghai will also expand the traditional concept of a Legoland park to include unique attractions inspired by Chinese culture. But this one will specifically take inspiration from the Jiangnan water town on the Yangtze River. Legoland Shanghai will feature 75 interactive rides, shows, and attractions across 8 themed lands: Bricktopia, Ninjago, Lego Friends, Lego City, Lego Castle, Miniland, Legoland Creative World, and, making its worldwide Legoland debut, Monkey Kid. And if you're like me and thinking, what on earth is Monkey Kid? Turns out it's a Lego product, based on the traditional Chinese stories of the Monkey King and Journey to the West. You see, Lego is a fairly recent phenomenon in China, and it's really only gained popularity in the last 25 years. Hence, the sudden desire by Merlin to build all of these parks. In addition to meet and greets with Monkey Kid himself, this new area will also feature a unique dark ride called Flower Fruit Mountain Adventure. Legoland Shanghai will have 3 roller coasters when it opens, including the Dragon roller coaster, a Zamperla family coaster, again probably something similar to the Dragon's Apprentice, and a B&M family invert called Big Lego Coaster that will pass by a massive, well, not so mini Lego minifigure. Other notable rides that have been confirmed for the park include an S&S observation tower, a Sun Kid climbing tower, a wave swinger, the Lego Factory Adventure ride that first debuted in Legoland New York, and the Lego Ninjago ride from Arts Engineering, aka the ride where you have to move your arms to hit the targets. The theme park will also be accompanied by a themed hotel with 250 rooms. Coming in at number 4 is the cutest park that will be opening in 2025, BommelWereld in the Netherlands. Designed by the legendary Dutch theme park design company Vision, this indoor theme park will be based on the world of Martin Toonder's famous comic book character Oliver B. Bommel, a good-natured gentleman bear who always finds himself in need of being rescued by his heroic cat friend, Tom Puss. The park will feature 20 attractions and several themed areas, including the village of Rommeldam, the Dark Tree Forest, the harbor, and the Inventors District. Guests will enter BommelWereld through a castle designed to look like Bommel's home of Bommelstein Castle, where they can learn all about the adventures of Bommel and Tom through various pieces of memorabilia and artifacts, including old drawings and newspaper articles. From there, guests will be able to enter the rest of the park, not by doing something boring like walking down the stairs, but by racing down a 4-lane slide. This will lead guests into a garden area, featuring an antique car ride surrounded by statues of Bommel in slightly awkward situations. This area will also be home to a restaurant themed after the author's house. Moving deeper into the park, guests will find themselves in the village of Rommeldam, where they'll find a bumper cars attraction, a carousel designed with figures of the comics characters, and a fully themed funhouse and mirror maze based on an evil wizard from the stories. Over in the park's harbor area, they'll find a Zamperla rocking tub, a 12-meter Zyrer family freefall tower, and a 10-meter Star Kid climbing tower, as well as a duck carousel from Mattel Emmeline. In the Dark Tree Forest area, guests will find a Go-Go Bounce and a dragon-themed mini jet ride from Zamperla, an ABC Rides mini flume called Rosendead Rummel, which will feature a few dark ride scenes, and a mushroom-themed wave swinger. BommelWereld will also open with a roller coaster, Boulderbahn, a Vekoma family coaster that weaves its way through a misty mountain range that will make guests feel like they're traveling through the Black Forest from the comics. Boulderbahn will have a track length of 257 meters and reach a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour. Work on this whimsical park is already well underway, and BommelWereld is expected to have its grand opening this fall. Alright, we are kicking off the top 3 with the park that is making an appearance on this list for the 4th year in a row, Mattel Adventure Park in Glendale, Arizona. And boy, has this park been a long time in the making, but after many delays, it is finally going to be ready to open this year. For reals this time! Mattel Adventure Park will be the flagship tenant of the VAI Resort, which will feature a number of hotels, shopping, dining, and entertainment options. This indoor-outdoor park will feature over 25 attractions, including 2 roller coasters. The first, Hot Wheels Bone Shaker, the ultimate ride, will be a Chance Rides family coaster along the rooftop of the main building. This ride will be 84 feet tall and feature a double helix. The other coaster, Hot Wheels Twinmo Racer, will be a Chance Rides Hyper GTX, the first one to be built since Kentucky Kingdom opened a Lightning Run all the way back in 2014. Guests will board this coaster inside before blasting out of the building at 50 miles per hour. The 2,503-foot layout will feature 2 vertical loops, including one that will reach the ride's max height of 116 feet, and 2 corkscrews. Of course, the coasters won't be the only Hot Wheels themed attractions, as the park will also have the Hot Wheels Unleashed 4D ride, the Hot Wheels Legends bar, and the world's largest elevated go-kart track featuring electric lithium-ion vehicles. Another highlight of the park that many fans are looking forward to is the Barbie Beach House. Here, guests will find the Barbie Dream Closet, an interactive retail experience where guests can build their own customized Barbie doll, choosing every detail from her hair to her clothes. The experience will even use hologram technology to bring their dream Barbies to life right before their eyes. The beach house will also feature a rooftop bar where guests will be able to try signature Barbie-inspired cocktails and a Barbie flying theater ride. The World of Sodor will allow guests to experience the world of Thomas the Tank Engine and his friends, with rides like the Thomas Adventure Train Treasure Hunt, where guests will board a miniature train for an interactive scavenger hunt, Thomas and Friends Party Station, Birdie's Bus Stop, Bulstrode's Stormy Voyage, Flynn's Firefighting Academy, Harold's Helicopter Tour, Sodor Balloon Ride, and a Dockside Play Park. There will also be a Thomas-themed restaurant called the Dockside Cafe. Other attractions include the Kerplunk Drop Tower, a He-Man vs. Skeletor laser tag featuring an area styled after the Castle Grayskull Fortress, an Uno-themed wild climb, and a Mattel Games mini-putt inspired by games like the Magic 8 Ball and Pictionary. Mattel Adventure Park is also being designed with sustainability and efficiency in mind, which is something that has always interested me. For example, Twinmo Racer's LSM system will be powered by a method that uses 70% less power than traditional LSMs. This will be the first of 6 resorts that Mattel Adventure Park's parent company is planning across the United States. Their second property is already under construction in Kansas City, which will port over all of the attractions featured at this Arizona park, plus room for future expansion. But again, that's a spoiler for next year. At number 2 is one of the Middle East's most exciting theme park projects, Six Flags Qiddiya. Now, a lot of you probably know this park for its record-breaking roller coaster Falcon's Flight, but there's actually a lot more to this park than meets the eye. In fact, Six Flags Qiddiya will have over 28 rides and attractions in 6 immersive lands: Steamtown, City of Thrills, Twilight Gardens, Grand Exposition, Discovery Springs, and Valley of Fortune. Steamtown is described as a land of gears, contraptions, and whimsical thrills created by chief engineer and inventor Professor Screamore, who may or may not be related to the same Professor Screamore behind Six Flags New England's Quantum Accelerator. Anyways, this land will feature a couple of roller coasters, including a Mock Rides water coaster called Sawmill Falls, where guests will embark on a thrilling adventure aboard one of Professor Screamore's prototype vaporizing vehicles through Steamtown's production plant, culminating in a grand finale consisting of a steep drop through a tunnel that ends in a dramatic splash. The other coaster in this area will be the world's tallest Vekoma tilt coaster, Iron Rattler. This coaster, themed to a drill built by the Iron Rattler Mining Company, will be 208 feet tall, 1,240 meters long, and have a top speed of 118 kilometers per hour. It will also whip through 5 thrilling inversions. Other rides in Steamtown include Sprockinator, a Zamperla Nebulas, and Steel Stampede, which will be some sort of mechanical bull attraction. Steamtown will also be home to the Adventure Junction climbing area. The City of Thrills is where you'll find the park's most prominent thrill machines, a futuristic metropolis where adrenaline seekers unite in search of record-breaking, high-octane experiences. Of course, this area is home to the gargantuan Falcon's Flight, the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster. Inspired by the Saudi tradition of falconry, Falcon's Flight is being built by the talented engineers at Intamin. With its tallest drop coming in at a whopping 607 feet, Falcon's Flight will be the world's first exocoaster. It also boasts a length of 4,325 meters and a max speed of 250 kilometers per hour. This ride is insane, featuring multiple launches, a dive from the top of a cliff, and a 531-foot camelback that dwarfs the world's next tallest coaster by about 100 feet. But that's not the only record breaker here. Right next door is the world's tallest drop tower, a 476-foot SNS tower called Sirocco Tower. The City of Thrills is also home to a Vekoma family coaster called Adrenaline, and Wind Rider, a Zamperla kite flyer where riders glide in a futuristic Windstar glider, a contraption built by the fictional Falcon Industries, inspired by the sleek design of stealth aircraft and the soaring flight of falcons. If you prefer going at a more leisurely pace, then you'll probably enjoy Twilight Gardens, a land where the magic of Twilight comes alive in a playground of wonder for the young and young at heart. The main coaster in this area will be a Vekoma family coaster called Twilight Express, which will have the same layout as Midnight Flyer at Santa's Village in New Hampshire. Here, guests will join a ladybug for her first flight as the surrounding gardens come to life with glowing flowers. The Enchanted Greenhouse will be an interactive dark ride, in which will help the character named Farasha awaken all of the creatures of the greenhouse with a magical dew sprayer, which sounds like such a cute concept. Kaleidoscope balloons will be some sort of flat ride themed to gliding through the air in a hot air balloon, and the last attraction in this area will be a water play area called Amirat al-Buhaira, where guests float around a lake on a giant leaf as water squirts from nearby frogs and flowers. The Grand Exposition is a land where history and innovation collide. Inspired by the spirit of iconic world fairs from the past, Grand Exposition will come to life with dazzling exhibits, awe-inspiring inventions, and jaw-dropping performances. The star attraction of this area will be a GCI wooden coaster called Colossus. This coaster will be 889 meters long, reach a top speed of 81 kilometers per hour, and will use the Infinity Flyer trains. Other rides in this area include Gyrospin, a Zamperla Frisbee, Roundabout, a bumper cars ride themed to a taxi ride through London, Expo Flyer, a Chance Rides Wave Swinger, and Arabian Carousel, a carousel that will play Arabian melodies as guests ride on both horse and camel figures. Moving on, we have the water-themed world of Discovery Springs, a thrilling and relaxing area that takes inspiration from the relationship between the desert and the sea. Many of the attractions here revolve around the story of the fictional Nahari people. Zuma Fluma will be a Whitewater West log flume that tells the origin story of the Nahari and their efforts to conserve and protect the water surrounding the land. Inspired by the powerful torrents of the raging waters of the river, the Nahari found indigenous methods to harness the great power of the river into reusable energy for their village, which guests will discover in a journey that culminates in a 3-story waterfall drop. Another ride that adds to this story is Big Splash. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this ride will be a Zamperla Big Waves. As the story goes, the entirety of the Nahari's ancient water system is fueled by Splash, a large dam that controls the flow of water into the land. This ride invites guests to ride aboard this system and brave a thrilling 15-meter plunge into the waters below. Discovery Springs will also be home to the tallest and fastest Mauer spike coaster, Sea Stallion, where riders will be able to control their speeds with the potential to reach a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. A dark ride called Into the Deep will take guests on an interactive journey into an underwater cave with sea creatures and ancient ruins. And Water Wheel will be a spinning family water ride in which guests will sit in large bamboo buckets as flying fish leap from above, providing water that they can use to splash riders and other buckets. There will also be a splash pad called Aquatopia. The final area of Six Flags Qiddiya that guests can explore is the Valley of Fortune, a land inspired by Arabian ruins where you can join explorers in an expedition to discover buried treasure and ancient mysteries. The main coaster of this area is Spitfire, a record-breaking Intamin multi-launch coaster that invites stunt pilots to skillfully pilot their plane for an opportunity to win the coveted Golden Falcon statue. This coaster will be 582 meters long, reach a top speed of 127 kilometers per hour, and reach a max height of 240 feet as riders zip through an inverted inside top hat maneuver. On Skywatch, guests will get a 360-degree bird's-eye view of the park aboard a 45-meter-tall Intamin Flying Island observation tower. A kids ride called Canyon Charters will allow young aviators to pilot their own planes with the Aeromax Chartered Flight Company. Finally, a dark ride from Zamperla called Treasure Trail will take guests on an off-road jeep adventure to find some lost treasure. Now, of course, Six Flags Qiddiya isn't the only thing coming to the Qiddiya City complex. Qiddiya City is set to be an entertainment and tourism mega complex and smart city that is being developed as part of Saudi Vision 2030, an initiative from the Saudi government to help diversify the kingdom's economy. Other attractions that can be found here include the Aquarabia Water Park, which will also be opening this year, the Qiddiya Speed Park Formula 1 track, a Dragon Ball Z theme park, a gaming esports district, and tons of shopping, dining, and entertainment facilities. Overall, this project sounds so cool and so fascinating. The park is really taking everything that's great about the Six Flags parks and just perfecting it, beautifully combining record-breaking thrills with immersion and storytelling. I would love to visit this park one day, but unfortunately, being located in Saudi Arabia makes it difficult on both a geographic and political level. But who knows what the future will hold. And that brings us to the #1 theme park that will be opening for the very first time in 2025, Universal's Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida. This will be Universal Orlando's third theme park, or fourth if you buy into the delusion of counting Volcano Bay. Epic Universe will have a very distinct layout, with 4 different lands that guests can access from a central hub called Celestial Gardens by traveling through different portals. But of course, Celestial Gardens is also a land unto itself. In addition to beautiful gardens and restaurants like the Atlantic and the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant, this land will also have an awesome looking Mock Rides dueling launch coaster called Stardust Racers. Both sides will reach a top speed of 100 kilometers per hour and will feature a unique inversion called a Celestial Spin. The other major rides in Celestial Gardens will be Constellation Carousel, on which horses will twirl and spin in a unique multi-directional pattern. Celestial Gardens will also be adjacent to Epic Universe's flagship accommodations, the Helios Hotel. As for the surrounding lands, the first one we're going to talk about here is Super Nintendo World. Based on the popular Mario and Donkey Kong Country franchises, this will be the third and largest version of the land to exist at a Universal Park, though it'll be nearly identical to the one in Japan. Guests will enter Super Nintendo World into the heart of the Mushroom Kingdom, where they'll find Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. On this interactive dark ride, riders will put on AR goggles that brings the chaotic world of the Mario Kart games to life. Interactive elements allow you to steer, shoot items, and collect coins in an effort to rack up points and defeat Team Bowser. I actually got to experience this ride over at Universal Studios Hollywood, and although it's not a terribly fast ride, it's super fun and fits the vibe of the games well. Also in the Mushroom Kingdom is Yoshi's Adventure, where you'll sit in Yoshi-themed carts for an adventure to find colorful hidden eggs. Guests who purchase a power-up band will also be able to interact with various mini-games throughout the land, including a chance to participate in a real-life boss battle with Bowser Jr. A second portal deeper into the land transports guests to the island of Donkey Kong Country, home of Minecart Madness. This coaster will use a new technology that allows the car to run along a fake track, while a hidden rail below allows the ride to simulate jumps in the track and other kinds of tricks. Of course, guests can also grab a bite to eat at Toadstool Cafe, sip some themed cocktails from the Bubbly Barrel, buy some merch from the One-Up Factory and Funky's Flying By, and meet their favorite Nintendo characters. The next area, Dark Universe, sets guests in the modern Transylvanian village of Darkmoor, where Universal's classic monsters roam. The star attraction of this area is Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. This ride will be a dark ride that utilizes the Kuka arm system, similar to what we see on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. In this story, however, you'll follow Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, the great-granddaughter of Victor Frankenstein, as she attempts to demonstrate her experiments to control the classic monsters when, in classic Universal fashion, everything goes wrong. And Dracula leads a revolt that brings you face-to-face with the likes of the Wolfman, the Mummy, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and more. Monsters Unchained will be making use of both screen media and some stunning animatronics to bring these iconic creatures to life. Curse of the Werewolf will be a mock ride spinning coaster based on the 1941 Wolfman theme, where Melva, the leader of the Guild of Mystics, welcomes you into a secluded wagon camp to warn you about the werewolves who travel deep within the woods. Unfortunately, you're informed that you have the mark of the werewolf before being sent on an exhilarating roller coaster adventure as you try to outrun the beasts. The climax of the ride will be a swing launch that gets guests up to a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, featuring 2 animatronic werewolf figures. Other attractions include the Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience, where guests can transform into their favorite monsters through face paint and temporary tattoos, and opportunities throughout the land for character meet and greets. As for dining options in Dark Universe, guests can eat at Das Steakhouse, a vampire-run restaurant built in an old inn over the ruins of ancient catacombs, and the Burning Blade Tavern, a secret meeting spot for monster hunters that will erupt in a spectacle of flames every 20 minutes. It seems that these days you can't have a Universal Park without the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so Epic Universe will be home to the resort's 3rd Wizarding World location, this time themed to the Ministry of Magic. Guests will enter the land into the streets of 1920s Paris. Here, guests can find French-inspired shops and cuisine, get their own wand at Cosme Acajor's Baguettes Magiques, which they can use throughout the land to cast spells and interact with fantastic beasts, very much in the same manner that you can over in Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, and come face-to-face with some magical creatures at Le Cirque Acronus, a show that combines live actors, puppetry, and special effects to bring the fantastic beasts to life. The star attraction of the Ministry of Magic, however, is Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, which Universal claims to be the most ambitious ride they have ever created. Here, guests will be transported via the Metroflu to the 1990s British Ministry of Magic, where they'll board an omnidirectional lift with Harry, Ron, and Hermione. As Dolores Umbridge is about to stand trial, the Ministry is infiltrated by Death Eaters, who attempt to aid in her escape, and guests must ensue on an epic chase throughout the Ministry, all while avoiding Death Eater attacks and rampaging creatures. The final portal in Epic Universe leads to the Isle of Berk, a land of Vikings and dragons inspired by the How to Train Your Dragon films. Although many people would describe this as the theme park's quote-unquote kids area, it actually contains a number of attractions that would appeal to the whole family. One of the most exciting rides here is Hiccup's Wing Glider, an intimate LSM launch family coaster themed to a winged flying machine created by Hiccup to teach his fellow Vikings how to fly with dragons. The Untrainable Dragon will be a live show that brings dragons to life on stage to tell the story of a new dragon that arrives at the village that appears to be, well, untrainable. Supposedly, this show will be quite similar to the How to Train Your Dragon show over at Universal Beijing. The Isle of Berk even has a few flat rides. Dragon Racers Rally will be a pair of dueling Gerstlauer Skyflies where riders can use their wings to invert, or not, as they take part in the Isle of Berk tradition of dragon racing. What's also cool about this ride is that each one will be topped with a red or blue dragon, which I think is meant to be a cute little throwback to dueling dragons. The nearby Fire Drill will be a mock ride splash battle, where guests join Rough Nut and Tough Nut for a watery boat battle featuring flame-like targets. Of course, there will also be a few dining options, like Burke's main meeting spot, Mead Hall, and a kids' climbing structure. Overall, Epic Universe promises to be an immersive park that elevates what a theme park can be by prioritizing innovation and storytelling. I don't know if I'll get a chance to visit this year, but I certainly hope to get out there before too long, because it is definitely my kind of place. In either case, I'm sure Epic Universe is going to go down as a park that changed the theme entertainment industry forever. And that concludes our countdown of every new theme park that will be opening in 2025. Which of these parks do you think is the most interesting? Do you have any plans to visit any of them? And what attractions are you most looking forward to? Comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of my content, including theme park discussion videos and vlogs from all of my adventures, make sure you're subscribed. You can also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at ADVParker, and on Facebook and TikTok at Adventurous with Parker. And if you want to support my channel with a monthly donation, you can visit patreon.com/advparker to learn about the different tiers that I offer, and the various perks that they give you, like Patreon exclusive series and the Maps and Mail Club. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, the adventures are calling. Bye! "100-foot motor drive and immersive CGI, inspired by the How to Train Your Dragon film."